Hi everyone, this is part 2 of our 2015 Kia Forte with the front brakes, with the aftermarket pads and the hardware being worn out and the bolts not being tight and things like that. Well, I went ahead the next step and did the rotor run out, and it was 8 thousandths out of round, and you're only supposed to have a limit of 3. So let me show you what I found out. So this is a dial indicator with a magnetic base, and we mounted on the brake caliper mounting. And then here's our dial indicator, which is set at 0. Now we're going to spin this rotor around, and it shouldn't go more than 3 thousandths of an inch. So it looks like they go around. It's a better space. Okay. So there we go. There's 8 thousandths of an inch. Now if your tool's set up correctly, it'll go back to 0 again, which it does. And we're going to go back down again. And there's 8 thousandths of an inch. So that's more than double what it's supposed to be. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to mount another one on there. I found this company a while back called DFC, which makes a good quality brake rotor at a reasonable price. And I've used them quite a few years. They hold up really well. So what we'll do is we're going to take that off and change it. And I'll show you the difference right away, all in the same video here. I think that should give us a pretty decent shot. Okay. The bolts back here take a 17mm wrench. They're about 75 foot-pounds of torque. I loosened them up a little bit already. I was going to use my air compressor, and then as soon as I turn that thing on, you won't be able to hear the video. Let's see. Now we'll get our tool for taking those loose. And this is a hand impact driver. They use them a lot on motorcycle engines and stuff. We have aluminum cases and stuff. Okay. So they're pretty tight. Okay, so we're looking at the back of the surface. You can see this got real hot back here also. So then we're going to look at this face, and this is all rusty. All this surface area here, it's not supposed to look like that. Put this in a little better position. So all this rust you see in here, that's not supposed to be there. So I have a little tool that goes right over across the front of the stud and cleans that off. You'll get to see it. Then we'll clean in the middle. then the very inside little bit that you see along this edge right here, I take a little bit of brake cleaner and spray it in there, and take a little wire brush here and get that last little bit out of there. So you're still going to have a little spot, you know, here or there. It's not all going to come off, but a great amount of it did. Okay, so now we're ready to mount our new rotor on there. And of course it's going to have the notches in here where it's going to line up. And the back of it, I'd already checked this nice and good. Had one little tiny spot there. And before we put our screws in, we're going to mount it up and do the test. A lot of shops will tell you to use all 5 studs covered. It's been my experience over the years with 3 that it works just great. And we don't have to put an air gun or anything on these. We just have to have it so it's snug. Go around a few times. Okay. Now we're going to mount the caliper back up so we can do the run out part of it. The torque on these is 72.3 foot-pounds, but right now we're just going to make them snug because that's all we need. So as long as they're secure and they're not moving, we're in good shape. Now we can mount our tool back up here like we had it before. Try and get it in a pretty stable spot. Okay, then we'll zero our gauge out. And I'll bring the tool down here. Let me take these gloves off. Then we'll be able to check our run out again. And so we're on 0 there. Look at that, it's almost perfect. It's maybe like a half of a thousandth. And you always want to go 2 or 3 times, and that way you make sure it stays consistent, that it doesn't change. Okay. So now you got to see the difference between 8 thousandths with the one we took off, the one with all the hot spots and everything on it, the front and back of it all hot. The hub surface was all corroded, all rusty. We cleaned all that up. Cleaned up around the inside of the hub, bolted everything up, and we have a half a thousandth of an inch. It's just like amazing. That's what brakes and things are all about. Learn what you're doing. If you don't, watch my videos or watch a lot of other informative videos and get this stuff down and start telling people, you know, this is what you need, this is what you're looking for. Those hot spots don't belong like that. The other shop just told them a few days ago, after doing it 2 weeks before, everything's great. And so that's why you have to document this stuff, and that's why I chose to show you the 8 thousandths and then do the job right while you're watching. And you can see that I didn't change anything around or adjust anything, and now we have less than 1/1000th of an inch. Thank you very much. Have a great afternoon.